Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Purple Heart Gaming Podcast, PHG. How is everybody doing today? I am Giants here with Chris. How you doing,
What's up,
Chris?
everybody? What's up, everybody?
And we're going to have a special guest, and he'll be on in a little bit. His name is Shane, or Korbinian. I believe we refer to him as Shane during most of this.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's just kind of habit, because just the relationship the three of us have, knowing each other in real life and whatnot. But, yeah, I think before we begin that, I think we have he has a very interesting point of view going from the military to police in real life to helping run this server. Like, he's been kind of all over the place when it comes to just everything that's going on, don't you think, Chris?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, his perspective on things is very interesting. He's a very articulate individual, so I think our listeners are really going to enjoy hearing from him.
Yeah, and he's very articulate, but he also doesn't take shit at all. And
No, absolutely not.
he is the last person you want to try to step on because he will turn you on your head and absolutely ruin your day.
Yeah,
We have I kind of call them Shaneisms at this point. I learned, I've learned twat waffle from him, which that was new. Um, there was this one instance for quite a little bit where when he would think, he would say however, and then he would say
comma,
comma, yep, however, comma, and
comma.
I called him out on it one day and he stopped doing it. And like, I'm not calling you out on it for you to stop. I actually enjoy the shit out of it, but he doesn't really do it as much. I think you've kind of picked it up where he's left off, though.
I have picked it up. Yeah, yeah. I think he rubbed off on me on that one.
He rubs off on all of us. Definitely, twat waffles, one of those that I use a lot more now. You get a little bit of
Yeah,
angry at someone when you're driving on the road and just, yeah, fucking twat waffle.
pretty much. Pretty
Yeah,
much. That seems to be the choice word of phrase nowadays.
yeah. And if you can't obviously tell already, with Shane here, this is going to be a very, how do I put this? A very strong language type
Yeah.
of
Yep. Viewer
podcast here.
discretion is advised. Viewer
Yes.
discretion is advised.
I believe I go in there as potty talk, which y'all decided to fucking roast me for. Thanks.
What is potty talk? I mean, like, where of all words you could use,
I
Giants,
I don't know. I really don't. It's
like,
just
you know,
it's the
foul
first thing.
foul language, explicit, all these fancy words for cuss words, and you use potty mouth. I mean, really? Like, we got words in the toilet. Well, there's the F bomb. Oh, shit, there's shit.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the first thing to pop in my head, but we're gonna have so much more to talk about, and I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that we could have missed during this entire interview with Shane.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure there is.
there's just so much we could talk to him about and just figure. I mean, the three of us have gone all the way back from what, 2019. You and him
Yeah,
went back as far, what, 2015,
was
2016,
2017. 17. I made him in
2017.
17.
You met him in 17. So you've been, let's say, you've known him a lot longer than I have. Has he changed since between when you first met him and now?
No. And in fact, he rubbed me wrong the very first time I ever met him because we were working together and I had came to the job that we both had um, as a supervisor, a corporal, if you really want to really butts in. I can't even talk today. Jeez. If you really want to cut it down to the strength of what I was. So he had been at the job that I started working with him at a couple years prior. And he, for some reason, he starts barking orders at me to do this, do that, and it was just like, "Yes, sir, Corporal, sir." And I'm like, "This guy and I are gonna have it out." Like, and it actually was just very funny that it didn't turn out that way. He just rubbed me wrong that one time. We had a few other conversations, and then I went to shift with him, and it just, yeah, we just hit it off from there. It was kind of one of those things we always wondered when the supervisor put us together in the same car. What? You said Korbinian and Chris together? Are you sure?
And I mean, I had met y'all when y'all were working together, and
Yeah.
it was in the middle of COVID, or it was the start, really the whole way through COVID, but during the start of COVID, and y'all basically weren't able to do your jobs,
Oh dear God. Yeah.
and we honestly, y'all got paid to play Jackbox. I mean, what?
Yes, we did.
I mean, you can't really say that much of a better job. Other than say the only other people that do that are the ones that are on YouTube and whatnot for a living. But
Yeah.
y'all were
Yeah.
getting
We
paid.
did.
Go ahead.
No, I was to say, yeah, no, we were getting to play to sit on our ass, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, turned out to work out for the long run because, however, how many years is it now? 2017, 6 years. Y'all are still friends, and
Yeah.
we're all friends.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
what can you say? There's really not much more to say about it. So we're gonna get into this interview, or just really just a general conversation we were having. So if y'all
Yeah.
haven't met him before, here comes the interview here with Shane or Korbinian, live here on the PHG Podcast.
What's going on, y'all?
So let's get right into this, shall we? First, the big thing is, Shane, what are you... Whoops, oh well. Shane, what are you doing, Purple Heart Gaming?
Well, aside from eliminating twat waffles, I typically fly the helicopter around, provide air support for all ongoing operations during roleplay, and make sure that people can't get away from the police.
Alrighty. And Purple Heart Gaming, originally, the name was created because of you.
That's what I've been told.
So, for those, would you like to tell your story there on that?
Well, so I'm a retired soldier from the Army, spent just under 10 years active duty. I saw combat in Iraq and Afghanistan, earned a Purple Heart from an IED exploding underneath my truck in November of 2010. Hopped away from that with minimal help, but all in all, no broken bones, just lasting, lovely memories of how the Taliban couldn't kill me.
Uh,
Very true.
yeah. Well, we're glad you're here, first of all. You got quite the background there between that and being a current deputy here. How's that transition from going from the Army, coming back to civilian life, and now being a cop going for you?
I'm making do with it. It's got its ups and downs for sure. You know, just that whole mentality I have from my time in the military doesn't actively translate to even the world of civilian policing in my experience. I mean, yeah, I'm making it work. I'm finding what works, what doesn't work. Um, but with how I typically react when it comes to uh, that 0 to 60 adrenaline drop, they don't mind when I do it. They just don't like my language when I do it. And my language filter has been broken for a long time. So there's the incursion of I'm making it work.
I mean, fair enough. We know how your language is sometime. I mean, twat waffle is a great example of that.
I mean, I come with a warning typically everywhere I go, just for my language.
Yeah, this
Yeah, we carry around that little sensor button, beep, 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 everywhere you go.
yeah, this podcast is definitely not going to be for children. Not that it really ever is, but extra
Disclaimer.
Yeah, an extra disclaimer here. There's going to be a lot
Your
of
discretion
foul,
is advised.
a lot of potty language in here. So
Did he just say potty language? Did he really just say that?
He did. He really
just,
did say body language.
I don't know. Sounded good at the time. Okay.
Uh,
We do this in one take. Okay, as you can tell by the beginning. So you were at the beginning of PHG here with Chris, obviously, and I came about 9 months later. But why don't you tell me how? You and Chris both tell me how launching the server went from your point of view. you guys together and whatnot.
Well,
First of all, before you get into that, hold on, Shane. I just got to add. Did he say he came 9 months later? So would that make him like the love child of the server?
oh my god,
Just a thought.
like that. We're fact checking right now.
Oh my god. So I know I came in November of 2019. So I'm 100% on that. But
So recollection, and Shane can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we started the journey around January of 19.
is that about right, Shane? 2019, January?
It was definitely 2019. Come on, don't tell me that's no. That, mm.
It doesn't say it ain't gonna work. It's a question mark. He's trying to look. It's a question mark for number one, and number two, this is a different Discord account from when I joined. That's how you remember.
Bitch. You're absolutely memory. Either way, no, I cannot verify that he is a love child of this endeavor we call Purple Heart Gaming, but he is definitely a quality member of this Discord.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Shucks.
But anyway, so Chris, were you talking, or is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Okay, so from how my memory recalls, Chris had got me into Discord, got me into 5M, because I'd played GTA before, and it's one of those things. GTA 5, played it through, and then we started the 5M stuff. Well, we were just hopping around server to server. We couldn't find a good server to really role play on, and we kept running into the problems of 8-year-olds as cops. And when we're actually cops in real life and we're having to role play as whatever, and then we hear these kids, not even air quotes on this one, these kids freaking the fuck out when we do something that we've actually seen done in real life. You know, we got tired of trying to find a good home to stay at. So we got a couple of us together and we decided to start our own server. And then unbeknownst to me, they decided on the name to be Purple Heart Gaming. I didn't object because, well, I think it's a great name. We don't have any other servers with a similar name.
Yeah.
And we've similarly made it a home for veterans, police officers, firefighters. If you're a first responder, if you're not a first responder, if you're like-minded with our mindset here of military first responder type stuff, you'll fit right in.
Oh, definitely. And that was one of the big things when I was looking for servers, was just trying to find something that I could be around long term, just something that definitely kind of would keep me around, not keep me around like you guys keeping me, but something that would keep my mind where I wanted to be and not just waste of time. Oh, here's another server. I'll put 3 months of work into it, and then some bullshit will happen where I'm gonna leave, or someone didn't like what I had to say and say, fuck you, bye.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how we, I think we stayed unique, as I've said in the previous episode.
Oh yeah, unique is an understatement. When we do our own liveries for fire vehicles, special service vehicles, i.e. the patrol boats, the helicopters, all the cop cars, we have our own decals that people within
Yeah,
the
and I
server.
think that's something I was going to bring up. That's actually something we haven't even talked about. Actually, Shane does our liveries for the most part.
I started off doing every single one of them in this server, and it was getting to be a little bit too much, and I had Slate step in and help. So he does all the he does all the police vehicles. I do all the fire
Right.
vehicles and all the specialty vehicles typically.
Stuff he's not comfortable with, yeah.
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 He uses Photoshop. I use Paint.net. I mean, I can still knock it out of the park with Paint.net, but there's still some limitations that I come across with that one.
Yeah.
But I make it do, and I mean, proof positive. You see what I can draw up and get onto any of those vehicles that are in the server.
So, what's crazy about you and your vehicles, I mean, you've done, for the most part, we'll say about at least 85% of the vehicles since the launch. But one of the skins that you've actually made for our server has a very strong resemblance to a specific place. And I think that's really cool that your artwork for in-game ended up making it to an agency in real life. I mean,
Oh
oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hmm, that is still surreal to me. That I started here just over 3 years ago, and I'd been here maybe a month, maybe 2 months at my current agency, and they were putting out feelers. We had nice, lovely brown and khaki decals on our patrol cars, and our chief was tired of the shit stain on the side of the car. So he was putting out feelers, and he was just having, if anyone knew anyone on to submit ideas, submit them. Well, it
And the
came
mule was
via
started.
one of the or one of the sergeants. He put a feeler out. I'm just existing in the room because I was a trainee. Nobody fucking cared about me. I'm just a trainee. It is what it is. Well, then my FTO speaks up for me because he had already found out what I did. And suddenly all the attention is on me. But, they're like, you know how to do this stuff? Yeah. I dabble with it. I'll draw up something, see what I can come up with. And I submitted something I had spent 4 hours working on. Yes, doing this stuff is a very lengthy timepiece. Some certain fire trucks can take me 8 hours to do.
It's very tedious, if I remember right.
Oh, it's
yeah.
extremely tedious, especially when you're a little OCD like I am.
So, just a small kind of quick introduction into it. You have to color all of the template the way you have to do it, and then you have to make sure that you have to have the vehicle file as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
you absolutely have to, and then you have to have the open IV or open 4 to view it and see what your work has come up on that vehicle. Because sometimes your templates are wrong, the mapping's wrong.
man.
There's stuff. I mean, there's just a myriad of things that can go wrong with doing this. But I digress. Back to that part. I submitted something that I spent 4 hours on. Lieutenant and chief liked it. They made some subtle changes to it. I think my chief told me that we went through 14 different stripes. They didn't like the stripes that I had done on the first half of the car, but the rest of the car, from the quarter panels around the back hatch, those are still what I designed. And then all the lettering, the font, the colors, and the logo that I had come up with, they thoroughly enjoyed, and it's actually what's on our cars now.
I find that really cool. I mean, just we've talked a lot about in the first episode about how video games and whatnot turned us into a real life friendship, and just it's amazing how not only the friendship that all three of us have, but just the real life implications that have come from just a video game. I mean, you have
Yeah.
your skins that are now going on the agency that you work for, their vehicles currently, and I'm sure they'll probably be around for a while. I mean,
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any until we get a new sheriff. We'll see.
eh, I don't think anybody's gonna. I wouldn't think anybody would warrant the money on changing them after you just changed them, but it is a sheriff's office, so you never know what's gonna happen.
Touche.
So,
But then in that aspect, I'm trying to convince one of the volunteer fire departments in the area to go with one of the designs I've made.
you're gonna have to let us know how that goes, because
It's going to be a struggle because
we're gonna have to change where you work into Korbinian Island or something.
Korbinian County.
So I talked about it a little bit, but as we were talking again in the first episode, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it already. Obviously, we've become, I say, a lot of us in the server have become really good friends. Just, I mean,
Yeah.
we went to your wedding, Shane. We went to mine. I mean, we've been.
Yep. Yep.
You helped me get my home to where it is now, and just all these other things. All these things that we've done for each other. How does
the truck?
yeah? How
The
does
majestic ride of the truck. Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. As
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, the majestic ride of what we're talking about here. I think that's the biggest laugh. What we can all laugh about. You said you're bringing your home to its current place. When we see Shane freaking driving down, just majestically down the road.
That was majestic. So for those that don't know, I'm rocking RV life right now. And if you're single and there's not much, you want that freedom, you want to basically go wherever you want, or just even living somewhere where you're saving a lot of money doing that. And I love where I live. I mean, you both have seen both the inside and the outside. It's nice for
It's a nice RV. That's
It is.
definitely
Yes,
the
it
key.
is.
So you just need to upgrade your wheels to something that can tow that.
Well, we'll cross that bridge hopefully soon. But how does it? What is your point of view on everything? Just how a little server that you guys decided to start one day that's turned into all of this that's affected your real life.
Never saw it coming. Never.
I agree. That's what I said in the last episode. I never fathomed that we would go as far as we've gone.
We're not the most active server out there. We don't often get a ton of people for RPs, but you know, we're still around. We've had our trials and tribulations. We've had people try and shut us down, and it doesn't work because
Yep.
we're stalwart, honestly.
Well, and the activity level that we have, besides that, between other games, the conversations that are. I mean, there was just one on flowing a minute ago, as right before we filmed.
Mhm.
It's just
We're
unique
we're
in the
not
way
just
that
here to
this place has
game
stayed
and
around.
play. We game on other game platforms. Not
Hmm.
really. It's PC based for the majority, but we'll play other games together. We'll get in here and have a round of Jackbox or three. Um, Drunk Jackbox is fun.
Yes, it is.
Um, so we have fun with whatever we have, and we always have a home to have for that.
I mean, as you said before, there's not always a ton of people around, but the ones that stick around, I mean, they've all become somewhat involved in our lives in a way
Yeah.
that it just doesn't happen in video games or just anything.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Nope.
So, and the people that
No,
are
it,
here, the people that are here are absolutely, I mean, they bring so many different things to the table, whether it's the RP, whether it's, I mean, we have a group of guys that are working on the server development of things. We have people that are working on things like the podcast, the social media, the this and that. So we have different people with different specialties that all kind of help all of this go together. And yeah, it might not be the best that out there, but we put our heart and sweat into everything, and I
We make
mean,
it our own. That's for
well,
sure.
as you said, we've seen servers come and go over the time period, and I think you can attest to this. We have seen countless people that we know start their own servers,
Mm-hmm.
and
They keep crawling
those
back
went
when they stay.
quickly down the drain and came back. Yeah.
yeah, and that is if we let them back too. That's the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I say,
Yeah,
Yeah. For
there's a
sure.
few that are
I
just
say,
like, no.
we're all for second chances, but some of these people just don't get me started. What's one of your Shane? What's one of your best RP memories you think you got here, or just anything that from PHG?
There's enough of them that this one definitely stands out. Unfortunately, there's no evidence of this actually happening. But when you get a successful pit by using a helicopter.
I knew that was coming.
Well, too.
You know, that's the most unorthodox way to end the pursuit.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say
I'll tell you what, it has worked once.
that's all
Once.
you needed to work.
Exactly. That's all I needed it to work.
I was in that pursuit. I saw that. Yeah, and it that actually was one of my favorite memories I was going to bring up with you.
I mean, there's moments of legend. You don't need to see them sometimes, but it's just the people that were there that got to see it and just being able to tell that story down the line. I mean,
I don't think anyone else has done that before.
and I don't really think anyone else
Real
is going
life.
to try to.
No.
I mean, not everyone has the brass set of balls to pull off something like that.
No.
Well, sometimes
Only
you
airborne.
stand and
Only
just
airborne.
fly with the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Is the right decision? Not all the time. Does it work? Not all the time.
It did in that case.
Yeah,
It certainly
sure did.
did.
What was the whole? I think I was on that night. What was the whole situation? Do you guys remember? It was obviously a pursuit of some kind. Was
I don't remember what took place. I know that whoever we were chasing, it was
had
like
already-
one of those endless
it had already been
chases
going
that you just
for a
couldn't
while.
end. Yeah,
And I
it had
don't
been.
remember if we had them shooting at ground units or not.
I think they were shooting. If I remember right, they were shooting at ground units because I got to be like number 3. I was playing catch up because I think I was way in the city when this all began for some particular reason.
yeah.
Weren't we on what, Route 68?
Yeah, went down 68, came up. I think it hit Joshua, and that's when you lowered yourself, and we were able to get them pitted.
Yeah.
You know, that unorthodox from out of left field. You know, it works. It works sometimes.
Hey, sometimes unpredictability is the best method. Jeez, I can't talk
Yes,
today.
it is the best method.
I'm Mike Tyson now.
Oh,
Welcome to the
Lord.
to the PHG Podcast. I'm Mike Tyson.
Jesus Christ.
Oh gosh.
So I know me and Chris on the first episode did talk about this as well, but I want to hear your side of this. Do you remember when I joined the server?
Vaguely.
Do you remember the resume that I had created?
Instantly.
The Harvard resume,
within
yeah.
10 minutes, we both had gotten your entire resume, and we had no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Chris, why the fuck did this guy send us a resume? Like, what the fuck have we gotten into?
It was
That's exactly what I said.
It was nothing more than a bunch of stupid docs that I had made for other servers that I just wanted to use. It took me like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think I like I said in the last episode, I think I was like, I saw this resume. I'm like, who the hell is this prick? Like seriously, like are we like interviewing for like a top-notch position that I wasn't aware of? You gotta have some like secret security clearance at Fort Zancudo.
I have clearance at Fort Zancudo.
Running the gate does not count as clearance.
As Tyrone, yes it
Crack
does.
the gate and they don't shoot at you. That is
How did that? And how
Yeah.
well did that end last time that Tyrone attempted that? Because I was
Lord.
there for that one.
Yeah.
Not well, right?
He got airlifted, I think, to the medical facility.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Maybe a curb stomp or two.
You know, talking about favorite moments. Were you, Shane? Recall, if not, were you on the one with the guy on the billboard that we ended up tasing? Were you on that incident?
God.
You were,
Yeah.
weren't you?
I
Yes,
don't
that's what I thought.
remember what exactly I was doing, but we found out it's not a good idea to tase somebody on a billboard because they fall off.
No shit.
Well, were you the one that tased him, or were you just there? I can't. For
think
some
I
reason,
was
I thought you were the one that pulled the trigger.
I may have. That sounds like me. This was pre-flying days, I think.
I think this was early on in our RP history. I'm not sure if Giants was there yet or not. And yeah, I can't remember the situation. I remember being on the ground trying to negotiate with the guy, and I swore it was you, and I think it was you.
Jenkins.
Yeah, you went up and freaking tased him, and King was on this. I know King was on it because the guy fell and he goes, "Well, that's one way to get him down."
Huh. Why do I feel like that was another Tyrone incident? Him on the billboard.
It wasn't Tyrone. This time I can tell you that much. My memory goes that far to say no, it wasn't Tyrone.
Oh wow, your
But
memory's actually working.
it works on occasions. It's kind of like what Windows 98. You got to shut it down every once in a while and bring it back up.
No, it's slow like Windows Explorer.
Oh,
Well, at least it's better than Windows bathtub.
shut the hell up!
On that note, we have the falling in the shower stats.
Mhm.
Giants and Chris have that one.
Yeah.
Then we have the TBI statistics, where now all three of us have them.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
Giants got his from ice hockey. Chris got his from falling whilst cleaning the bathtub. And I got one of my many from getting blown up in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to
Well,
get
besides being a sexy stud, that counts as one, right?
What was that, Shane?
You know how hard it is to get a concussion when you're wearing a helmet?
I
pretty hard.
mean, I've gotten one. Again, hockey.
My helmet wasn't plastic.
True. Mine was let's say plastic, and then it had the face guard, I forget the cage on the front there, and it still managed to get a nice, good old fashioned TBI.
Hey, wasn't that your anti-licking the window helmet?
Yes, that would
Just
be
asking.
the licking the window helmet.
Well, I mean,
That's
that
what I
didn't
thought.
stop me either.
We know this.
Yeah, I mean, we're all gonna lick the windows on the bus ride to hell one day.
I'll be driving, or I'll be the
Jesus.
one in the back licking the windows, wearing my helmet.
What kind of helmet are
Let's
we
see.
wearing, though?
That's a good
I'll have
question.
my Hardhead Veterans ballistic helmet.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Chris, what
So,
kind of
going
helmet?
back at it.
Go ahead.
No, what kind of helmet? I don't know. Whatever I can afford at the time.
Probably nothing.
Exactly. So going back at it here. So let's talk about Giants. So you've been in many RPs with the both of me and Shane.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is your favorite?
Oh Lord, put me on the spot, why don't you?
I will.
One of my favorite ones. I forget who we were chasing, but me and Shane were in the helicopter together, and
When I could actually fly and not fly and work the camera at the same time?
yeah, I got to work the camera, and I ended up sniping somebody out of a car when we were chasing them. So you remember that one, right?
It's one of the few times you were actually in the helicopter. Most
Yeah.
of the time, I'm flying that motherfucker around, having to deal with dodging trees, dodging power poles, buildings, billboards, all the while
Seagulls.
getting my camera locked onto the vehicle as it's running away.
Yeah, so a little bit of context here. We have a script and server that basically gives us access to the helicopter's actual camera system, where he can lock on to the license plate. But the thing is, in order to access that camera, and you can use thermal vision, night vision, etc. One of the things is, it is a bitch to try and fly that thing while you're in that camera. It's a bitch to fly anyway sometimes, but
Oh, fucking lootly.
so
I don't know how many times we've had to, nope, that didn't happen.
yeah. Sometimes the helicopter would just turn into a seagull that was given Alka-Seltzer.
A
But
couple times that's happened.
yeah, last night that happened, didn't it?
Maybe.
Allegedly.
It's allegedly.
Yeah. But that's probably one of my favorites there, Chris, is I forget who exactly we were chasing, but he was in the air and I was lining up one of my sniper shots as a task force, and I domed the absolute shit out of somebody. What about you? Chris. I think
I got two.
I was gonna say, there we go. Welcome back.
I got two. So yeah. I was still here. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, so the one that I remember the most with you was when we first got you in server, and it's me. And you're running down naked. I think you were Burton running down the freaking Route 68, and you're just like a marathon runner. You won't stop. And I think I ended up tasing you at the same time. I want to say Shane before he was Aryan. It pulls up and freaking nails you with the car.
So I don't think it was Burton. I think I remember this. Was it the naked guy with his jeans all the way down to his ankles?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's him.
Yeah, that was Justin.
Okay. Stand corrected. That was one of mine. And then my other favorite one was Tyrone at the motel in Polito.
Okay. Oh, with the shotgun.
Shane's a yes.
Yes.
Because here he is. I hear freaking Shane in Air One. Air One, he's popping rounds at me. And the next thing I hear is you got Slate coming up from one end and me coming up the other, like, we got this. And just like simultaneously freaking just like converge on you.
Mm-hmm. Good old Tyrone, man.
People like to shoot at the helicopter for some dumbass fucking reason.
Yeah, it never ends well either.
Yeah, don't.
Nope.
You know, especially with Shane flying. I mean, you're not. That helicopter ain't going down, man.
I really expected one time they had him say, Air One, I got shots fired. And then like 30 seconds later, subject's down.
I have whirling rotors to my advantage. They might be headless when I'm done with them, but
Hey, lethal force is lethal force. I don't think we have any problems with that.
No, not at all. So I think we can kind of talk about too, like, let's see. We went live this week. Is that right? We were on Spotify. I listened to that earlier. YouTube.
We are on Spotify and YouTube as of right now. We're going to be on Apple Podcasts, but I have to get that approved. Basically, they said it can take anywhere from 5 days to 2 weeks. So
jeez.
Everything will be uploaded to that once I'm able to. I also haven't made a Google account for a Google Podcast account yet for this, so we will be doing that within the next couple of weeks. We're gonna slowly try to make improvements here and there. I know my personal beef with the first recording was the audio, and I know I tried to set up my Blue Yeti before doing this, and that went as well as sticking your dick in a blender. So I'm gonna work on that. If I have to get a new mic, I will. This Yeti's lasted me since before I graduated high school, 2013 actually. So this Yeti mic is over 10 years old.
Good God.
And I've been using basically the same microphone. I tried once to use what the hell is that brand? I tried to use a condenser mic. Didn't realize I needed some more stuff to make a condenser mic work, so I just returned it. Audio Technica, that was the brand. So I ended up returning that stuff, kept the Blue Yeti, and it's been sitting in a box since I moved into the RV because it's just so much.
So much for getting a sponsor there, Giants. Thanks a lot.
What kind of sponsorship are you looking for on a podcast that's 2 episodes old?
I don't know. I was just making a fucking crack at you because I freaking can.
Did you say crack?
It's a crack.
I see you say crack. But yeah, no. We will be putting the podcast on some other platforms, and we're gonna try and make improvements as we can. But if you guys have any constructive criticism, feel free to let us know.
We are going to do segments. I don't think we've gotten into that, but they are planned.
Yeah, once we can find things that I kind of go with. The only one we kind of have so far is my dating fails, but
which we have one for that this week.
Oh no.
What?
So the one that comes to mind, and I'll just say it because I'm, obviously probably Giants over here doesn't remember it. He's on a nice online dating platform, and he's probably 30 minutes to an hour into a conversation with a young lady, and all of a sudden she asked him to buy diapers and food for her kids.
Oh Lord Almighty, that one.
Ooh,
That's the one you're going with.
That's the one I'm going with this week.
I
yeah,
mean,
that's a fail for sure.
there's not really much to say about that one, but yeah, we're just chatting. You know, she was kind of cute, and it is what it is. And we start talking, and yeah, just out of the blue, I need diapers for my kids. Like, no.
He sends me back the screenshot of this mess, and I go, "It's a trap."
Yeah, no, been there, done that. I'm good. When
On an Uber, right? That's what happened. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna say the Uber was definitely called the one time I did try it, so here we are. Yeah, no,
Oh
I guess
gosh.
we'll go. Let's say, Shane, you got any dating fails that you can think of?
We're just not gonna go there.
Fair enough. Chris, you got any?
And I can think of this week.
Bro.
What, Mr. Three Ex-Wives?
Oh, shut the hell up.
Bro.
Hey, at least I only had one ex-wife.
Yeah. So do I.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need to make it a new achievement in this Discord that
We need a freaking badge for that now or something.
yeah, divorce.
Actually, speaking of badges, we just added one recently. That was pursuit.
Pursuit verified.
Pursuit verified.
Yeah.
Pursuit verified. Yeah.
If your actual pursuit, this is for our law enforcement members. If your actual pursuit goes further than 20 miles, you get a pursuit verified.
So here's
Blake
the
recently got
for
that
you.
badge.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. His actually, I think it was his first pursuit went over 20 miles.
It was
Whereas Chris has had one. What's your longest, Chris?
30 miles. I've had one at 30.
And my longest is 40, just under 40 miles. Like we're looking at 38, 39 miles.
So the funny thing about Slate's was it was his first night. I was actually supposed to be ghosted, but it was his first night on his own when he got into that chase. And there we have it, folks. The Twat Waffle Slayer himself, Shane or Korbinian or whatever you want to call him. I mean, I hope y'all agree with everything I've had to say about him. Dude's just a straight up fucking legend. And I mean,
Yeah, he is. Absolutely is.
I'm so happy that he was our first guest, that he had the availability to come on and just, be able to share his stories. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much that we could just go on about with him, especially.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially when it comes to the 5M side of things and just the overall real life experiences. I mean, you can learn a lot from him, and if you piss him off, you'll definitely learn a lot from him. But I mean, I can't wait to do more with him, obviously. Hopefully we will have our next guest. We have a couple of people in mind. Basically, we're just not sure what order we want to do it in. So hopefully we may have an Eeyore in stock. If it's not Eeyore, it may be the very first Highway Patrol Director of PHG.
The very first one.
Yep, who his story is, he's got quite the interesting story as well, running Highway Patrol, and now he's doing it in real life as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many cases of, lack of a better word, inspirational outturn of guys just coming to the server playing, and then using this as kind of the stepping stool to do what they want to do in real life, which for a lot of guys, if it's not policing, it's fire or EMS. And I think we should all take at least a little bit of pride in giving everyone that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? That kind of comfort zone where they can seek the information they need in order to take that next step in their life, as well as just having the fun of blowing each other to smithereens and using our imaginations to come up with whatever kind of situations we want. I mean, do you have anything you want to add on to that there, Chris?
Well, yeah, like I'll say, like, I think this has been a goal, a kind of a learning tool for a lot of our guys to feed off of us that have already been doing this. And I think we mentioned that in the very first podcast. But yeah, I think this was a really good episode. Having Shane on here, having his points of view and his story come across that we mentioned him in the first one. So I think the best is yet to come.
I do too. I think we have a lot more. We have a lot of individuals that we want to get forward and talk to. If you guys want to try and get to know us, or honestly just play 5M with us, or whatever the case may be, we'll have links to our website, which the website is up. It is still.
I was going to mention that. I was going to ask that. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
The website is officially up. It is still under construction. We just kind of have a placeholder there, but we're going to have a lot of information when it comes to the podcast, as well as the server on the 5M side of things. Whatever other information we decide to put on. If you're not following us already, you need to follow us on Facebook. We have, I think we have the Twitter that we're going to put back up. I'm not 100% about that. But we'll have we'll have the Instagram, we'll have the Snapchat, or not the Snapchat, the fucking TikTok. I'll say nobody's getting my Snapchat, sorry.
What's your single ladies, right?
Yeah, the TikTok, YouTube, which we're gonna do put the podcast on there as well. We're also gonna be putting the podcast within the future. I think I've said this earlier, but put the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, basically anywhere else that we can place a podcast.
Anywhere you get your podcast at, people.
Yeah, we're going to try our best to bring it there for you, make it nice and easy for you. But that was episode 2 here with Brother Shane. For Chris, I am Giants. Thank you guys all for listening, and we hope to see you guys next week for episode 3 with, we're not sure yet, but we will figure it out.
Yep.